What's up, everybody? In this video, we have a lot of Toronto Blue Jays trade updates and a lot of free agency updates as well, because those are actually impacting what's going on with the trade market. Lots of stuff to talk about here, guys, and not all of it is good, to be completely honest. Before we get into it, though, please make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below all of your thoughts about what's happening in these winter meetings. They've been absolutely insane so far, so I'd love to hear what you have to say. Okay, guys, so as we know, the Toronto Blue Jays, they're looking to trade a catcher, right? That information came out a few weeks ago, and nothing has really changed. We got three guys. They're all very, very good. They are deserving of a starting spot on any MLB team, so it makes sense that we'd be looking to trade them. And ever since that information came out, there's been a lot of squads that have been showing interest. One of the most notable ones is the St. Louis Cardinals, and sadly, guys, based on the information that came out today, the news that broke, they're not going to be interested in a catcher anymore. $87.5 million. That is what they're going to be paying catcher Willson Contreras. So honestly, like, GG Cardinals, Willson Contreras is awesome. He is definitely like a top 5 catcher, I think, in the MLB. That's guaranteed, and he's going to be good, and he deserves that money, so that's really good. But from a Blue Jays standpoint, what does that mean? No Lars Nootbaar. That means no potential Tyler O'Neill, right? Like, any trade that we were talking about with the St. Louis Cardinals, that is officially off the table, which is ultimately pretty bad for the Blue Jays. Now, with the Cardinals out of the mix, if we are going to trade one of these catchers, Moreno, Kirk, or Danny Jansen, we need to look at those other teams, those other suitors that would be interested. Here is an excerpt from an article talking about Sean Murphy, the teams that were calling and that were interested in Sean Murphy. And I think that this is very important for us to evaluate, because those teams that are looking and calling about Sean Murphy, they're going to be interested in our guys as well, right? So we have the Cardinals. That makes a lot of sense. We have the Rays, we have the Guardians, and we have the Red Sox. All of those teams were very close at potentially trading for Sean Murphy. What does this mean for the Blue Jays? Well, it's actually not ideal, guys, because one, the Cardinals, they are out of the race. They are gone now. The Rays, are we going to trade Gabriel Moreno to the Tampa Bay Rays? I don't think so, everybody. And the same goes for the Boston Red Sox. So when you look at that list of teams right there, 3 of those squads are completely off limits for the Blue Jays, right? 3 of those teams are gone. Now, you still have the Guardians, but what if they go and they trade for Sean Murphy? If they go and they trade for Sean Murphy, then who are the Toronto Blue Jays going to trade one of their catchers to? Now, those are the top contenders to trade for a catcher, but there's also some other teams as well that are showing a little bit of interest, but maybe not a whole lot. You have the Minnesota Twins. They apparently have shown a little bit of interest from an article right here. Like, they could be calling about Sean Murphy, about potentially Danny Jansen as well. You also have the Houston Astros. Now, I know that they really like Martin Maldonado, and I don't know if they have necessarily the pieces that we need. You have the San Diego Padres. They're an interesting team, but we actually evaluated them on this channel, and they don't really have anything that could come the other direction for the Toronto Blue Jays. And then finally, you also have the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they do have Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds would be amazing, but I've heard personally from Pirates fans that it's going to take a lot more than a catcher to trade for Brian Reynolds. So ultimately, what this means for the Blue Jays is that potentially our top trade candidate in the St. Louis Cardinals, they are off the board now. And if we wait around, if we keep waiting to sign these free agents, and let's just say the Cleveland Guardians, they do trade for Sean Murphy, or they do sign Christian Vasquez, or something along those lines, then that just means that all of our options, all of those potential suitors, they get a little bit smaller, which inevitably means it's going to be harder and harder for us to find that trade partner and ship one of these guys off. And because these guys are so valuable, you really don't want to be like squishing a circle into a square piece. You know, you want to trade if it makes sense, if it works. But if we keep waiting, everybody, and all these free agents keep flying off the board, then we're gonna have to squish that square piece into a freaking square, guys, because we're literally not gonna have any other options. So moving forward for the Toronto Blue Jays, we need to be on the phone now. We need to be calling. We need to get ahead of that Sean Murphy news. Yes, one of the big catchers off the board, and that's a good thing, but one of our trade partners is also gone as well, limiting our options. There's not a lot of other teams right there that are going to pay a premium for a catcher. So we need to be on that phone, and we need to be calling them now. And also, what would probably help the situation is if we just sign some freaking free agents, and then we just don't even need to trade catcher at all, guys. But apparently Ross Atkins does not want to do that right now. They're literally watching as everybody leaves, and I'll be honest, I'm pretty anxious. I know that you guys are as well. But folks, let me know what you think about this trade update in the comments down below. What is the trade scenario going to be now that the Cardinals are off the board? No Lars Nootbaar, no Tyler O'Neill, nothing like that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and go Jays go!